Hello everyone and welcome back to the Football Psych YouTube channel, where today I'm bringing you a very special video. Now, I'm not sure if you are aware, but we've reached 100 subscribers on the channel. So as a little bit of a treat, I thought I'd bring you a Q&A today. And on my Instagram, which if you're not following already, at the Football Psych, I put a poll out to ask different types of questions so I could answer them in today's video. But before we get into that, why don't you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and why not click the notification bell so you don't miss an upload? It would be rude not to. Now that's done, let's do a Q&A, I guess. Just a little disclaimer for the video. I'm going to split the Q&A into two parts, partly due to the fact I had quite a few questions and kind of because I was rambling on, to be honest. So yeah, this is going to be part one and part two will be out soon. So I hope you enjoy it. So the first question is going to be, who is the better manager, Arteta or Lampard? Now, this is a tricky one, so I'm going to try and put my Chelsea hat to the side and be impartial. I think they're both good young coaches. I think even though they're both just starting out, Lampard worked at Derby before Chelsea, so he's in his third year of management, and Arteta going into his second year nearly. Arteta worked under Guardiola, one of the most successful managers in recent times, so you'd have to say Arteta has more experience. Arteta beat Lampard in the FA Cup final. So if you're going on head to head, it's probably about even in terms of the games in the league between Chelsea and Arsenal, but Arteta's beaten Lampard tactically in a final and he's worked under Guardiola. So I'm not sure who's better, because I still think it's tricky to make that judgment. They're very new to management. So yeah, Arteta may be going head to head, but I'm always going to say Lampard because I'm a Chelsea fan. The next question is going to be, who will finish in the top four this season? With another poor result for Liverpool, Chelsea are stuttering at the moment. Tottenham have kind of gone off the ball a little bit. It's still all up for grabs, to be honest. I'm not going to give place by place, but I think the top four is going to be in no particular order, basically. Man City, Man United. Do I be hopeful and say Chelsea? I think it's going to be City, United, Leicester, and I think Liverpool are going to creep in as well. So yeah, that's going to be the top four. In what order? I don't know. I don't want to make that judgment. So then we're moving on to the next one. Why are a lot of big money players not performing in the Prem? Well, again, I don't want to make this whole video about Chelsea, but there's a couple of examples at Chelsea where Werner and Havertz have come in for big money, a lot of promise from a decent league in Europe. Why are they not performing? I've mentioned another video, which you haven't seen already. Go check that out, about adapting to playing in England and how tricky it can be. You know, and there's some massive big profile signings over the seasons who just haven't hit the form they have for teams in other leagues, basically. Competitive leagues, but I think the Premier League is a step up. It's more demanding physically and mentally. You can't hide. I think you can't be a luxury player in the Premier League in today's season and get away with it. I think you probably could 10 years ago. You can't anymore. Everyone, even if you're a flair player or don't really put a shift in, you have to. You don't have a choice. So I think that's maybe what they struggle with. There's more asked of them in terms of, running and sprints, but the mental side of things is just as important. I think normally there's a premium paid by Premier League clubs if they want someone, especially one of the big six. So there's all that hype generated already, and I think sometimes it just overwhelms players a little bit and they can't just go and play their football. And well, they can, but they feel there's a lot more kind of riding on them. So that's probably why a lot of players struggle with adjusting to the Premier League. Maybe it's never that they never hit it's not that they don't hit the heights that they did at their previous clubs. It might just take a while to get there. So yeah, I think that answers that one. Right, so this is quite an interesting one really, not necessarily football related, but what made you want to start YouTube? Well, there's no real rhyme or reason, to be honest. I mean, I was thinking of it a little while. I thought, psychology is not really touched on YouTube in terms of football, and maybe I could bring my kind of thing to that and add something to the community of football on YouTube. But yeah, one night I just couldn't sleep, early hours, and I thought, let's do it. And then the name popped in my head, the Football Psych. So I made the logo, and then it just got started from there really. But I think 2-3 years ago I wouldn't have. Don't think I would have had the confidence to talk in front of a camera, or maybe I would have, but posting it and sharing it, I would have worried what people thought of me. But 21 now, I don't really think that matters, to be honest. And I find it interesting. It's my passion. It's maybe something I'll go into as a career. So it kind of helps me out on my studies, but I just thought there was a gap in the market. So I think that's why I started. So the next question is very topical and coronavirus related. Do you agree that football should still be played in current circumstances? Now, initially, when there was rumour of Project Restart, so what was that, back in April, May time, even maybe June, I thought, no, there's no way this should be happening. It's not right. We just kind of gone into a lockdown or a month or two into it, and I thought, even though the clubs have got all the money and they can put things in place, this is getting quite scary now, and I don't think football should carry on. But to be fair to them, elite sport and the governing bodies have shown that the protocols in place are limiting the numbers significantly. So it's not safe, but they're controlling the measure, and it's as safe as it can be. So yes, I think football should be carrying on, and although it's not completely fair because other sports have had to stop, I don't think a lot of people would have known what to do without watching football in lockdown and having something to kind of distract them, really, something to watch, and football, although it's been a bit of a crazy start to the season, a crazy end to last season, it kind of lets you escape for a bit. So I think it's important, and I think they're making it as safe as they can be. Therefore, yes, I think it should carry on. So the next one is one of my mates trying to have a dig at me, basically. Why could you only score across the keeper? But I'm going to put a little spin on that and not just make it to me, because a lot of you don't know what I was like at football. You weren't missing a lot, don't worry. But why do players, and maybe strikers in particular, always kind of go for the same kind of finish or area of the goal? So an example was Diego Costa. I remember I used to speak to my uncle, and he used to say, why does he go so close to the keeper? Why does he not put it in the corners? Well, if you're playing up against a 6'6" goalkeeper, then they've got the reach and the physique to get to the corners, basically. So if you put it under them in an awkward place or really close to them, well, they can't stop it with their feet, but they also can't get down quick enough to stop it with their arms, and it becomes a bit of a challenge for them. So I think players, a striker's just like anyone. It's a lot of it is psychological. So if you're really, effective with one type of finish, whether that be putting it across the keeper or going near post, then that's going to be your go-to. Yes, it's important to have variety and mix it up, but I think it's trust in your own ability, isn't it? It's kind of that perfection. You've like a free kick or a penalty. You have your favoured area of the goal, that you aim for, because that's what you practice and that's what you feel best suits your game. So try and have a dig, but I kind of made it a question on its own. But thank you all for watching. You probably didn't learn anything today. It's just me talking, to be honest, and answering some questions. But don't forget, if you did like the video, give it a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and click the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. It would be rude not to. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Been crying so much to the poltergeist, trying to hold on to love, but it's forced.